Hello boys and girls, Mr. Giamini. Wanted to come to you with a video. This is going to be the first 5 questions of the Topic 7 online assessment. Remember, the Topic 7 post-test will be administered a week from this coming Monday. So you'll have this weekend and you'll have all of next week. We still have 2 lessons to go over, but we really want to get a thorough understanding of this stuff. There's quite a few formulas. We want to try to understand the application of them. Well, let's take a look. And again, best way to possibly use this video, I've assigned you all the Topic 7 online test. Great idea, maybe tonight to go over, or not tonight necessarily, but over the next couple of days. You have a long weekend here. Go over the first 5 questions, maybe answer them yourself, and then go ahead and watch the video and see if your work is matching with my work. And when I say work, I mean you should have work written down so you can analyze our steps and compare. And maybe you have a better way to do it than I do. Maybe there's a way that makes more sense than what I've been talking about, and that's absolutely fine to utilize. All right, let's get into it. It says Gabriel is cutting a triangular sign with a base of 8 inches and a height of 9 inches. What is the area of the sign? So if I take, and I'm just going to draw a triangle. I'm going to draw a triangle here. And we know when we talk about the height of the triangle, it must be perpendicular to the base. And we talk about being perpendicular, we talk about we have a line that's going to go from this vertice to this base, and it's going to form a right angle. That's where I know the height would be located. And it says it has a base of 8 inches. Notice how I'm underlining here, a base of 8 inches. So from here to here, 8 inches. We know the height. The height is 9 inches. Right here, we have 9 inches. We want to find the area. We want to find the area of the sign. Well, let's recall a triangle is just half of a square. If I were to draw a square or a rectangle or any quadrilateral, and I were to draw a diagonal line from one vertex to a non-adjacent vertex, we can see that I've split this square up into 2 triangles. That is why the formula for a triangle is 1/2 times base times height. Well, the 1/2 is a constant. It'll stay the same. Times the base. The base is 8. Times the height. The height is 9. Notice I'm just substituting in. We're now going to go 1/2 times 8, which gives me 4, because half of 8 is 4. And then 4 times 9 gives me 36. And it'd be 36. We need to label it appropriately. Square inches. And there we are. They wanted to get you on this answer right here because they were hoping that you did not divide it by, or times it by 1/2, or divide it by 2. Let's take a look at the next question. 2 figures are arranged as shown. Which of the following can be used to find the area of the shaded region? Select all that apply. So that means there's more than one right answer. If I take a look at the shape here, we can see that we have what looks to be a square. The reason why I'm calling it a square is this side is A and so is this side. And that means both sides are congruent. So this is a square. Now they want to find the shaded region. Well, it looks like they gave me this little region down here that is not shaded. Oh, I was hoping I changed the color there. They gave me this little region here that is unshaded. Now that region is a rectangle. It is a 2x4. Opposite sides being parallel. We need to get rid of that area. We need to get the area rid of the area here in order to find the area of this entire square. And if I think about it, A times A, that's just another way to say A to the 2nd power. I look at this first problem. It says A minus 2. Well, if I take this side here, A, and subtract 2 from it, it makes this side just go from here to here. And that says A minus 4, or times, excuse me, A minus 4. That means I'm taking this from here to here out. So essentially, I'm removing this square or rectangle by subtracting these 2. So this would give me the correct answer. The next one is A squared minus 2 times 4. Well, we talked earlier, A squared is how I'd calculate the area of the entire square. And it says, now let's just remove 2 times 4. Now, where are they getting the 2 times 4? They're getting the 2 times 4 from the area of the rectangle, because the area of the rectangle is base times height. So we find out the area of the entire square, remove that 2 times 4, we get this answer works. This one here says A squared. Hey, wait, we've dealt with A squared. That's just side times side. And I can use A squared because both sides are congruent. But now it's saying minus 4 squared. This doesn't work because this is not a square that we're moving. We're moving a rectangle. If this were another square, it would absolutely work because both sides would be 4. But in this situation, we have a side that's 2 and a side that's 4. C does not work. Okay, we have this one. We have A times, open parenthesis, A minus 2 plus 2 times, open parentheses, A minus 4, close parentheses. Let's take a look at the distributive property here. We talked about A times A. When I did A times A here, it gave me A squared. So we have the same thing here. Minus, remember we're sharing that A with everything. A times 2. Well, A times 2 gives me, coefficient goes first, 2A. Operation here is plus 2 times A. 2 times A is 2A. We have a minus sign splitting those two terms up in the parentheses, so minus 2 times 4 gives me 8. Okay, I have A squared minus 2A plus 2A. It looks like, minus 8 then. Looks like I can combine like terms. Now, many of you say, oh, this has an A, this has an A, and this has an A. You're absolutely right. But this has a exponent of 2. This does not have an exponent, so they're unlike terms. Now, if I take a look, we're taking away 2 here, and then we're adding 2. Well, minus 2 plus 2, those cancel out. I have $2, I spend $2, I have 0. All I'm left with is A squared minus 8. If we go back to our original let answer choice B, doesn't answer choice B look like this, only it's simplified here? Or excuse me, it's simplified here. They did the math for us. So D also works. And the last one I do, notice what my equation was here. It was A squared minus 8, or my expression, excuse me. Notice my expression is up here. It's A squared minus 2 times 4. Here, they're finding the area of this and subtracting from it the area of the gray. Well, that's not going to help us out because we want to find the area of the gray. So the only two answer choices are three, are A, B, and D. So the next one. Darren made a display board in the shape of a trapezoid. The height of the trapezoid is half the length of the shorter base. And the longer base is twice the length of the shorter base. I just read a lot there. I'm confused. I'm going to go back in and read again. It says the height, that would be H, of the trapezoid is half the length of the shorter base. Well, the shorter base, here's one base from here to here. Here's the other base from here to here. We know that they're bases in a trapezoid because they have one set of parallel sides. Well, the shorter base is 4. Half of 4 is 2. That means the height of this trapezoid would equal 2. And the longer base is twice the length of the shorter base. Okay, the shorter base is 4. It says it's twice as long, meaning B is double from here to here of this. Well, double 4, you get 8. So base is equal to 8. Also, too, if you take a look and analyze this trapezoid, what they did is they did us a favor here. They split it here into a rectangle and two congruent triangles. Now, they've also done us a favor and said, hey, look, the base of this triangle is 2, the base of this triangle is 2. This is a rectangle. Opposite sides are congruent. Now that we know H is 2 here, H is 2 here, and we know this is 4, we know the opposite side is 4. So now we know that 2 plus 4 should give me 8, and it does. So it says, what are the lengths and height of the longer base? Enter your answers. Well, the height would be 2. The base would give me 8. And now it asks to calculate the area of the trapezoid. And again, remember, it's 1/2, open parentheses, base 1 plus base 2 times the height. Remember what we do with the trapezoid? We would just make a copy of it and rotate it around and make a trapezoid one big parallelogram. Parallelogram is base times height, but because we have two parallelograms, we are essentially molding them together. I'm going to substitute those answers here, and that's where you have that multiply by 1/2 or divide by 2. Let's substitute in. Base 1, it's irrelevant. It does not matter which one's base 1 or base 2. They're both bases. Addition's commutative. So I'll put 8 as base 1 plus 4 as base 2, and we'll times that by the height of the trapezoid, which is 2. Let's do some addition inside. We have 1/2 times 8 plus 4 is 12 times 2. Half of 12 gives me 6. 6 times 2 gives me 12. 12 square yards. Okay? I'm actually going to do one more question because I've been doing a lot of talking. I want you to digest this stuff. Let me do question 4, and then I'll move on next week to make a video for 5 through the rest of it. Which equation can be used to find A, the area of the parallelogram. Remember, parallelogram is base times height. We have three numbers. We have 11 meters, 6 meters, and 7 meters. I have this dotted line here. This dotted line also has a right angle here. It's not extending the base. It's not making it longer. It's showing that this is where we have a right angle because we talked about how base and height are perpendicular to each other. 11, if I look right here, that is not a right angle. If I followed 11 up here, that is not a right angle. It's obtuse angle. Telling us that 11 is not either the base or the height. The base and the height would form that right angle, and there's that right angle right there. The base is going to be 6. The height will be 7. 6 times 7 gives me 42. But wait a minute. They asked me to find the equation. I solved it. Looks like 6 times 7. That matches that. 6 times 11. They use the incorrect height. They use the 11, which we talked about why it's not. When we're talking about parallelogram, we don't need a half. And we don't need a half. So it has to be answer choice A. All right? Hope that helps you out with the first 4. Remember, all of you have this assessment assigned to you. You don't have to submit it. You can just answer all the questions whenever you'd like. And there's going to be some you don't know because we haven't gone into volume yet. And then use the video to either confirm your answer or to reflect and say, oh, now I see what I did incorrectly. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Take care.